Good evening. First tonight, as the bodies of those murdered in the Tunisian terrorist attack arrived back in the UK, so Leicester Cathedral holds a multi-faith vigil in their memory. Memories that sadly include that of John Stollery from Walesby near Newark. He was killed along with dozens of other British holidaymakers by a gunman inspired by the so-called Islamic State.
And today it's emerged that Leicestershire doctors travelled to Turkey to try to stop his sons joining IS. Ibrahim and Mohammed Ajid are part of a group who've gone missing from an African medical school. Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball is at Leicester Cathedral for us tonight. Good evening, Jeremy.
Hello, Anne. Yes, today's news about the Ajid brothers has demonstrated really just why this show of solidarity is so important. Behind me you can see people tying these purple ribbons for solidarity along with red ribbons for hope, and it's really to make the point that they're not going to be divided by the horrors of religious extremism. Now, in the last half hour, Christians, Muslims and people from all faiths and none across this city came here to pray for the holidaymakers who were shot dead and to thank the people of Zeus who helped to prevent further deaths. And this afternoon, the bodies of 8 victims have been repatriated. This plane flew them back into RAF Bryce Norton in Oxfordshire. Among the bodies flown back, that of John Stollery from near Newark, who was a social worker in Nottinghamshire. He was on holiday with his wife and son, one of 38 people who died when the gunman opened fire. And of course, this was an attack that was carried out in the name of the so-called Islamic State. And tonight there are fears that 2 brothers from Oadby have travelled out to join that organisation after a fellow student appealed for recruits in a propaganda video. A glossy recruitment video appealing for doctors and surgeons, but it's made by a group who are renowned for brutality and beheadings. Above these pictures of babies and incubators, a logo for the so-called Islamic State.
We are always in desperate need of doctors, and especially specialists, all the people who have specialised, surgeons.
This is Ahmed Sami Khadr, one of 9 British medical students who disappeared from this private university in Sudan back in March. Now 7 other students there have travelled out to Turkey. Among them these men from Oadby. Ibrahim Ajid's a Manchester United fan. His elder brother Mohammed was due to graduate this month. Back in Leicestershire, their mother's told us she's very worried, very upset, and that she believes her sons have travelled out for humanitarian reasons. She also says her husband's gone to Turkey to try to get them back before they cross the border. The men are thought to have left the family home in Oadby to study 6 years ago. Their father's an NHS hospital doctor. This local imam knows him and says he's opposed to religious extremism. He's convinced the doctor's sons were radicalised overseas.
They have been groomed and they have been brainwashed. These people have got nothing to do with humanity, let alone Islam. We are encouraging our youngsters not to even refer to them with the word Islamic State, because that is an insult. I am lost for metaphors to describe how evil these people really are.
The government says they're a terrorist organisation, but the group's propaganda's creating a powerful narrative. And as 2 parents from Leicester want their sons to come back, it's become a battle for hearts and minds. So how to tackle that extremist narrative? Well, I've been joined here at Leicester Cathedral by the Bishop of Leicester, Tim Stevens. Tim, a lot of Muslims in the city clearly appalled by the so-called Islamic State, but you must be concerned that some men clearly still want to join them.
I think we all are. Christians, Muslims, people of all faiths, our security personnel and so on. We're deeply worried that the story that ISIS put out, that reaches particularly into the hearts and minds of young men, still seems to be turning their hearts and minds, breaking families and destroying lives. We're working as closely as we can with the Prevent organisation and others to stop this.
How do you hope that events like this can help stop it and help tackle it?
I think it reminds everybody who watches that all of us stand together, that we're of one mind and one heart. We won't be divided. We have a much, much better vision to offer our young people here than the murderous thugs of ISIS. We have to keep saying that and making it visible on our streets, in our public places, in our schools and universities, wherever the opportunity occurs.
Tim Stevens, Bishop of Leicester, many thanks for joining us tonight. And of course, tomorrow those victims of the attack in Tunisia are going to be remembered across the country at midday when there's a minute's silence.
Jeremy Ball, thank you.